Okay, so in this problem, we're being asked to give the domain of the function n of x equal to square root of 13 minus x in interval notation. So first thing that you have to consider is that we have a radical sign here, and it's even numbers. We're taking the square root. So anything underneath this square root, we want it to be either greater than or equal to 0. Okay, whatever it is that's underneath here. Because if we end up with something like this, if we end up with square root of a negative number, that will be equal to something that is not real. So let's take what we have underneath this underneath the radical sign, 13 minus x, and let's just set that equal greater than or equal to 0, and then we can solve for this. So the first thing that we'll do is, let's see, subtract 13 from both sides. All right, this cancels out. So the result is negative x is greater than or equal to negative 13. And then we need to divide. We'll divide both sides by negative 1. Okay, now because we're dealing with the inequality here, this negative will cancel out. Because we're dealing with the inequality, what's going to happen is when I bring my x down, the inequality sign will flip. It will reverse. So now we get x is less than or equal to, and a negative divided by a negative results in a positive. Okay, so the that's the highest. In other words, x is has to remain less than or equal to 13. So what that looks like on a graph. Let's say if we take our graph here, or a number line, and mark off 13, and we want, since we have it's less than or equal to, so we would have a solid circle here, and everything below it we would include that in our domain, all the way down to negative infinity. So because they want this in interval notation, what this would look like is negative infinity, comma, up to 13, and because we're including 13, we'll have a bracket, and then we have this parentheses around our negative infinity. So this is our domain here. All right, of this particular function.